Here comes some late pressure. King lost the ball. Marvin Jones Jr. got there, and the Jackets got it back, but way back at the 23-yard line. Corey Robinson, the tackle, recovered it.
And it was a great green dog pressure by the freshman Raylan Wilson. He recognizes that the offensive line had all engaged. He decides to go. He attacks King, forces him out of the pocket, and then as he escapes, there's really nowhere else to go as he tries to turn back inside, and Marvin Jones dislodges the football.
His first sack of the season. So here's Aiden Burr. 2 out of 3 tonight. This one a 40-yard attempt. And it's good. And that does get them back within 2 scores, down by 15. With for their 29th straight win, that would be the SEC record all by themselves. We mentioned a moment ago, Alabama won 28 in a row twice. It would be their 21st consecutive non-conference win. Their 15th straight on the road. Their 14 wins in a row is the longest active streak in FBS football and road wins. Second longest in SEC history. Alabama 21 road wins in a row back in the early and mid 70s. They've won 38 straight regular season games. A short kickoff goes to Dylan Bell, and Kyle Eifert stopped him, but not until he crossed midfield and then some.
Georgia's had a few great returns tonight in their kick return department, man. I mean, Bell had one, Muse had one earlier. They've been real close to breaking one, and that's massive when you're on the road in a rivalry game. Team that you're playing just scores, flip momentum back by creating a big return and good field position for your offense.
And they've had 3 kickoff returns of more than 30 yards tonight. You saw it on the bottom of the graphic. Georgia's won a school record 38 straight regular season games. They're 44-1 in their last 45 in all games. The only loss was to Alabama in the SEC title game here in Atlanta, December 4th of 2021. Dejon Edwards, the ball carrier. Micaiah Scott, the tackle.
I think what's most remarkable, too, I mean, it's almost rare when they're even in a super competitive game. I mean, they are playing to a standard that nobody else in college football has matched in the last few years.
They've won this season by an average of 25 points per game on their way to the 11-0 start. Georgia and Oregon, the only 2 teams in the country in the top 10 in both scoring offense and scoring defense. Beck throws on the run, caught. Arian Smith. Nice night for him. Perhaps build his confidence and get him a little more involved going forward. An 11-yard gain.
Massive to get him going a little bit. Just he's the guy that every single defensive coordinator has to be mindful of with the deep ball, and it could open up, if he can clear some things out, it'll open up everybody underneath if that threat exists.
$11 minutes to go. Edwards, nice cut back to his left. First down. 15 yards for Edwards.
A really good job cutting back here, too, by Edwards. Inside split zone. Delt does a good job at the end man of the line of scrimmage. Edwards cuts back, and there's a big gain, again, for the Georgia running back.
And like Bobo said, they've worked hard with Delp on being a more effective blocker, and he is. Lovett, the motion man. There's Delp. Good tackle. Jalen King made the tackle. There is a flag on the play in the middle of the line of scrimmage, right between the hash marks.
Holding. Office number 53. 10-yard penalty.
Dylan Fairchild, the left guard.
Looks like Georgia Tech is trying to cross face and bring pressure off the left-hand side. The ball was out really quick, but it looked like Fairchild might have had his arm up and around, but man, for holding call to happen that quickly, you don't see it happen that quickly very often.
Edwards with running room outside and tackled from behind by Kevin Harris, the transfer from Alabama. A 4-yard gain for Edwards. He's up to 45 yards rushing now. Milton has 139. As a team, they've rushed for 219.
Those two guys really complement each other well. Milton really more the downhill guy. Edwards very patient, decisive, with great acceleration when the hole opens.
Kendall Milton back in at running back now. Beck single coverage. Caught. Dylan Bell won the battle. There's a flag down near the 10-yard line. Rodney Shelley had the coverage.
And that was really downfield. Offense number 63.
The center, Cedric Van Pran, who made his 42nd consecutive start for Georgia tonight.
We're going to see Van Pran kind of meander his way downfield. Now he has to be 3 yards downfield or more for it to be an ineligible downfield. When the ball is released from Carson Beck's hand, it looked like it was really close. And Kirby Smart, justifiably a little frustrated, because it did not look like Van Pran had gotten that far downfield when the ball came out of Beck's hand.
And that's one of those, when you go back and look at tapes, you could call a lot more often than it is called. So they're back to 2nd down and 20. Blitz off the corner. Back pressured. Takes off running. Carson Beck. Looking like his idol when he grew up in Jacksonville, Tim Tebow. 15-yard run for number 15.
And that's one part of his game that I don't think gets enough respect. He's not a blazing speed guy, but he's a pretty good runner, and he's big and physical and break through arm tackles. So he can definitely get out and create some problems for you if you are overly aggressive in your pass rush.
Very good athlete. He was a talented pitcher in high school. In fact, as a freshman in high school, he committed to the University of Florida baseball program. Given all kinds of time into the end zone, and it is intercepted. K.J. Wallace came away with it after a ricochet off Jalen King. But a number of those balls to put this away, go back to a 3-score lead. The K.J. Wallace, the interception, his first of the season, 2nd year here as a transfer from Notre Dame. Malik Rutherford bounces off a tackle and gets enough extra yardage for a first down. Now they want a flag on Marvin Jones Jr. on the sideline. But there is not a flag thrown.
Looks like at that point was a little bit of a grab there by Marvin Jones, where it kind of threw him to the ground a little bit. He was clearly outside right there. I mean, I'm surprised. Right in front of Brett Key, too. I'm shocked they didn't call the foul there.
This tackle by Allen allowed the first down. Here's Malik Rutherford. Well, they can go down and score a touchdown here. It's going to get much more interesting in a hurry. That's a 13-yard completion to the redshirt sophomore from Miami.
4th and 31 to play that passively. It was a great throw and a great catch. And my reaction was not understated.
No, it was not. I mean, Alabama that close to being out of the college football playoff picture. Here's Jamal Haynes. They'll mark him down to the 24. And Georgia Tech trying to get back within a touchdown. That's a 23-yard run.
And a terrific run on the counter. The GT counter, both the guard and the tackle pull around. Haynes sets up the blocker and bursts to the outside. Excellent run there by Haynes.
This is timeout for an injury.
Third, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff selection. Reese Davis and the guys break down the final rankings from top to bottom. Coaches' reactions and a live interview with the committee chairman, Boo Corrigan. That's at noon on ESPN and the app Sunday, December 3rd. Of course, that'll be one day after the conference championship games have concluded. Jamal Haynes on 1st and 10. Javon Bullard went off. Dan Jackson came in for him, an experienced backup. Zion Logue made the tackle, and Bullard wasn't out for long. Here he comes right back in.
That's a relief for Georgia fans. Probably their best player on defense has been Bullard throughout the course of the year. Him and Tyke Smith, it'd be a photo finish between the two. So massive to have him at full health moving into next week's game.
Against Alabama. George will be right back here in Atlanta. Here's Haynes, taken out of bounds by C.J. Allen. And the clock running. Georgia Tech might want to think about speeding up the operation here a little bit. They're all still looking over to the sideline, some sort of play call. Must get a touchdown here. Another field goal doesn't really do them any good with 5.5 to go. Dante Smith trying to break free from Raylan Wilson. Got very close to the first down. And this is pretty much the ball game here for Brent Key. Need a 4th down conversion. Down by 2 touchdowns.
They've gotten stoned up the middle, too, on short yardage situations. Maybe try something to the edge where Georgia's had a little bit lesser time stopping them.
Dante Smith got enough before he was driven back. First down, Georgia Tech. But the clock continues to run for 4:45. Zach Pyron, the backup quarterback, has come onto the field. And Haynes King is out there too. As a matter of fact, King is the one wide to the left. So here's Pyron, a redshirt freshman. Looked like it was a design run. Then it looked like he was going to throw, and he squirts down the sideline. Looked like a lot of things. It looked like it was going to wind up being nothing, and all of a sudden he got 8.
It's a great run by Pyron. It looked like for a moment Raylan Wilson, who was coming over the top at linebacker, was going to drop him for a short gain, but he somehow gets through it, finds some open space.
You know, we have to look at this from the progressive Pyron camera.
Well done.
Well, we've been hoping all day he'd get in. And how lucky are we? It was near the goal line. Haynes King, another touchdown. His second rushing touchdown of the game. They'll go for 1 and try to make it an 8-point game.
Just a great job. They fake a little speed option pitch to the outside. They have counter action inside Fusel and Seither. Get great blocks on the edge, and King walks into the end zone for the second time.
They go 80 yards in 10 plays. It did take them 4:38. The extra point is good by Aiden Byrd. So he has passed for 158. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns. And it's a 1-score game. They have a chance. Tuesday we'll bring you 2 featured men's college basketball matchups from the ACC-SEC Challenge. 7:30, number 10 Miami, number 16 Kentucky. And 9:30 Clemson against 17th ranked Alabama. That's on ESPN Tuesday night. ACC-SEC. Just as this is. On a cold Saturday night in the capital of Georgia. The Yellow Jackets trying to end a 5-game losing streak in this battle for the unofficial state championship. Meanwhile, Georgia trying to get its 29th straight win. Should be the longest streak in SEC history all by themselves. Georgia Tech trying to beat number 1 for the 3rd time in school history. They're 2-12-1 all time against number 1s. The last win was way back in 1990 when they won at number 1 Virginia by 3, and that was big. Georgia Tech went on to win the national championship, split national championship with Colorado. They won the coaches poll, finished 11-0-1. Onside kick handled well. Yes, you have no faith in your run defense to stop Georgia because it's a 1-score game and you have all 3 of your timeouts, but you've only made them punt once all night.
Exactly, and they've also had a very difficult time on kick coverage tonight too. 3 different kick returns that have gone for 30+ yards. So Brent Key decides to roll the dice with the onside kick. I think it's probably the right move too, knowing how much his defense has struggled throughout the course of this game stopping the run.
Georgia's run for 235. As we said, they've made Georgia punt only once all night. Here's Edwards ahead, and no timeout for the moment. 4-yard gain. The 23 points allowed by the Georgia defense the most this year. They hadn't given up more than 21 in a game. UAB scored 21. Missouri scored 21. Georgia Tech 23 tonight. Second and 6. The Dogs in no hurry. Carson Beck goes under center with Edwards, the running back. Play fake. He sidesteps the rush and slides down short of the first down. Well, mark it back at the 41, comfortably short by about 3 yards. It was Braylon Oliver who brought the quick pressure that forced Beck to change what he had in mind. And I think Kirby's saying you slid 3 yards short of the first down.
It looked like that slide was initiated around the 40-yard line. He's stopped all the way back at around the 42. So here's Beck as he escapes.
As soon as you start into it, I think they got the spot right. So it's 3rd down and 3. With 2:52 to go, Tech has used one of its timeouts, 2 remaining. We mentioned Carson Beck, freshman in high school, commits to Florida to play baseball. So how'd you change your mind? He said, well, I had a really good football season. Then a bunch of football schools came after me. Alabama the next year said, you can play football and basketball, football and baseball here on a full football scholarship. He said, well, the full ride's better than the not full ride I was going to get from Florida. Then he kept getting better in high school football. Many other schools came after him in recruiting, and he decided to come to Georgia instead. Oh, for their last 3 on 3rd down. Edwards chugging for the first down. They had a chance to stop him near the line of scrimmage and couldn't tackle him. Kevin Shear's defense desperately needed a stop. It looked like they might get it. Kyle Eifert.
He ran through unblocked. Chance to tackle Edwards in the backfield. Edwards slides inside and surges forward for the conversion. Just a bad missed tackle there from Eifert, who's been excellent the last couple weeks, but a big opportunity there missed for the Ramblin' Wreck.
Fresh set of downs, 2 timeouts for Georgia Tech. As we approach 2 minutes to go. Milton. And another timeout called by Brent Key. Juan Douse made the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. Friday night at 8 on ABC, the Pac-12 championship game presented by Dr. Pepper from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Number 6 Oregon, number 4 Washington. First time they've ever met in the conference championship game. What a season Bo Nix is having. 3,906 passing yards, leads the country, and a completion percentage of just over 78%. And it's not like it's dink and dunk if you watch the game last night. Who do you like among these three, or somebody else be your leading Heisman contender right now?
I think it's down to three at this point. I mean, Bo Nix, I thought that was his best performance of the year last night. So much of what they've done have been quick throws, yards after catch, but last night he showed against a really good Oregon State defense the ability to push the ball down the field a little more and make some plays on the move, improvise. Last night was sensational, but man, it's hard to overlook what Jaden Daniels has done, even though he's on the 3-loss team.
Winner of that one would have a great shot to be in the college football playoff. Here's Kendall Milton. What a night for Milton, dragging Jackets with him, improving on his career high, and that should just about do it. Another first down, only one timeout left. And reality setting in among the Georgia Tech fans. This will be 6 straight losses. That's overall. We haven't won since 2016, Kirby Smart's first year in Athens. There's an injured Yellow Jacket. It's Brooks. And this will be 12 straight wins for Georgia here in Atlanta back to 1999. But when you're here, you can kind of understand why it happens. It's a home game for them. They have many more fans here than Georgia Tech in Georgia Tech's home stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it's been packed, and even throughout the town. I mean, there's nothing but red and black. Folks barking occasionally as you walk by them, but it's really remarkable how this team has performed all year long. And adverse situations. I mean, they got punched in the mouth a couple times tonight, and they continue to bounce back. They made a couple of big mistakes that led to points for Georgia Tech, and yet when they have to have a play with the game on the line, they always seem to find a way.
So, assuming this goes in the win column, as it almost certainly will, how do you size up Georgia and Alabama in the SEC championship game? That's probably a winner gets into the college football playoff.
I think most people would think it would be a scenario where the winner would get in, but man, Texas is the roadblock, so I think it's very dependent on what happens with the Longhorns. And I think Georgia wins. Obviously, they take care of business. They're
if Georgia goes undefeated, obviously they're in. Alabama's out.
Yeah,
but were Alabama to win, that could make for some very interesting scenarios, including one where maybe Georgia doesn't get in.
Right, and I think that would be wild too, considering a team will have won 29 the last 30 would be left out, but it's only about this year, and just so happens the field competing for those 4 playoff spots are about as deep as it's been in quite some time.
We're going to go into the victory formation. Georgia Tech can stop it once if it wants to. And it wants to. Brent Key. So no timeouts left. And barring the kind of mistake that Miami made against Georgia Tech, it's going to be a win for Kirby Smart. And another perfect regular season. 12-0. Undefeated in the regular season for the 3rd season in a row.
It's crazy. And this team, we've mentioned resilient, and that's what Kirby Smart is discussed. I mean, this team is resilient. They are excellent. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. I mean, guys in and out of the lineup, lack of continuity. Some guys banged up in fall camp, only now starting to play their best football, like Michael Williams. But man, here at the time of the year you want to be playing your best, they're certainly rounding into form.
They're the first SEC school to go 8-0 in conference play in 3 straight seasons. And if they were to beat Alabama next week, they'd join Florida 1995 and 96 as the only SEC schools to go 8-0 and win the SEC championship game in consecutive years.
It's remarkable what they've built, and with some of the young players that are already contributing on both sides of the ball, it'd be tough to envision them dropping off anytime soon.
So that's it. Valiant effort by the Yellow Jackets comes up short. And Georgia has won 29 straight games now all alone with the longest winning streak in Southeastern Conference history. They've won 15 straight road games, extending the longest active streak in the country and the second longest in conference history. They've won 39 straight regular season games. There are a lot more of those numbers we could pass along, but Molly's with Kirby.
Coach, your team has dealt with injuries all season. Kendall Milton, just the latest guy to step up. What does that say about this group?
Well, Kendall stepped up all year. He plays really hard. He practices well. He's one of our best leaders. I thought he did a great job today with yards after contact.
First team in SEC history to win 29 straight games. What did it take to get here?
Well, a lot of guys did that before this group. This group's carried that on with a high standard of excellence. They practice hard. They play physical. A lot of credit to Georgia Tech today. They did a great job. But our team played really hard and physical. Great environment to play college football in.
Next week, you're coming straight back to Atlanta for the SEC championship game. What does this team need to improve upon before then?
A lot. A lot.
Tell us what made you most mad tonight?
I'm not mad. I'm happy that we won the game. I'm happy that I got guys like this on my team. We enjoy the wins here. Okay, we love the win. We have great kids and great players that are so resilient, and I'm so proud of what they do. This is the few times we get to enjoy that.
All right, congrats on the win, Coach. Kendall, Coach described this team with the word resilient. You have so many guys go down with injury, and you stepped up big tonight. What does that tell us about your team?
I mean, that's what the team's built on, you know, throughout this whole season. I feel like we never had a week where everybody was on the field, you know. It was always next man down, next man up mentality, and I feel like we took that to heart and practice. We work our butts off every single day to be able to have games like this. You know, the whole week he told us this is a rivalry game, so it's not going to be one of those just walking apart games. They're going to come out here, give us everything they got, so it was our job to come out and match the intensity, and I'm glad that my dogs got the job done.
Yeah, they did give you everything that they had, and you guys weren't overlooking them. SEC championship game is next week. How seriously did you guys take this game? What did you